Hi Gypsies, this is Joy, back for, I'm doing more channeled readings, and let's see, it's been cool out. We had a record snowfall, which for this area in the west was very, very unusual, considering this is October as well, so that was sort of cool. We got some beautiful photos of the snow outside. Today I felt a need to use blue stones. So believe it or not, I remember the names of these. This is Apatite, this little blue one. Pretty blue Apatite. This is Larimar. And that's indicative of the sea, water. And this one, it's a moonstone in the middle, but on the outside is blue turquoise. And the blue deals with your throat chakra, so I'm going to try and give you my truth in these readings. I guess that's what we're going for here. So group 1, group 2, group 3, the rings stones get steadily bigger, I guess. So that's what they are. So anyway, we're a week before the election. So hopefully we get our truth out there about what we want to have done with the election. So anyway, group 1 coming up. Group 1 is the Apatite stone. Group 2 is the Larimar. And group 3 is the turquoise. Hi group 1, you chose the little blue Apatite, very delicate, pretty little ring there. And let's see. Let us begin. Let's get a fresh page here. Okay, here we go. Wow, that was a little different, as most of these are. Okay, so what I saw was from the sky. It was really odd because it was almost like I was a bird and I was flying around, and I was hearing like somebody crying, and I saw like a curvy like line, and then I realized it was like a water. It was water like coming up on the beach, and you know it curves around like that, and I was hearing like a sniveling kind of sound, and I realized it was a young man, and he was trying not to cry. He couldn't help himself though. He was so miserable and upset. I don't even know what had happened. He felt like he was humiliated. He was full of rage, and he didn't know how to get all this out. It felt like he was walking away from something. It might have been like his family or something, but he was walking away. He was downtrodden. He was full of anger and rage, and he was heartbroken. It felt like he was betrayed, humiliated, made fun of, and then it felt like nature was his way of getting out all this rage. So he was like, you know, kicking at the sand on the beach. He was throwing rocks, and it was a funny thing because it was pointed out to me that nature was not fighting back. It was sort of like nature was his punching bag, really. And then the other thing that I heard very distinctly was he was at a crossroads. He could either do something with his life that would help other people that were maybe in his situation, or he could seek revenge. And whatever was done to him, he could then in turn do that to other people. So he was at a crossroads. He was in a very sad situation, and he had a choice to make. So Okay, so I'm going to do this. Wow, this was upside down, and this was really interesting. Justice. This is the Justice card. It was upside down. And frankly, what it felt like is that's what he wanted, was justice. But it felt like more like revenge is what he wanted. He wanted justice for himself, but he wanted to hurt those people that had hurt him. So hopefully he changes his mind, and because it's upside down right now, and what I'm hearing is maybe he could look for justice for other people. Maybe he could be their advocate. Okay? So we don't know about this young man. We don't know what he's actually decided to do. All right, so let's just shuffle these a little bit more. I've already done it. Wow. That, I don't want to make light of what he's gone through. I don't know what he went through. But boy, it was heart-wrenching to hear him cry like that. And especially a man who, it felt like he was supposed to, be a strong, I mean, he's a man, he's a guy. He feels like he shouldn't be feeling this way. And they, they're telling him that he's too sensitive. And it's one thing to tell that to a girl, to a woman, but to tell it to a man, it's even more humiliating. He felt emasculated. Yeah. So he definitely has, okay, three, okay. So that way. All right. And then this one, it looks like we're going to be cutting. Okay, so, Tower card. Wow, upside down. So this is his defining moment. Okay. His whole world has been turned upside down. Okay. He can either learn from it. Okay. He can either learn from it. All of the the male and the female side of himself have fallen out of this tower of stone. And that tower of stone are his hard, fast beliefs. And his whole world's just been turned upside down, blown off. His head just like this. But the fact that it's turned upside down, is he going to learn, or is he going to try and just get revenge and learn nothing? What's he going to do? What are you going to do? Are you in this situation? I'm here. It won't make you feel better to seek revenge. It won't. And it's not going to do any good. And you're being tested. What are you going to do? And maybe at this point, maybe you should just sort of sit down and meditate and try and relax and get out this anger that you're feeling. Maybe that's what's needed right now. Don't act. Don't act right now. You need to think about it. And this might be too soon to make a decision anyway, depending on how angry you are. So they're telling me just relax, try and relax, and go to the gym or something. But you're in no state to make any decisions. Okay? We're going to cut this card. Okay. This is also upside down. Okay. And this is all about feeling the burden of your family, the burden that you feel like they've put on you. Okay, you know what this is? These are all the different rules that they've given you through your life that you feel like you can't follow. You can't follow any of them. They're burdens on you. They're burdens. You can barely walk. You can't see what's ahead of you. You can't be yourself with these heavy rules, these heavy burdens that they've placed on you. That, by the way, you can put down. You can put down. and you can assert yourself without getting revenge. This could be society that have put these rules on you. You don't fit in with these rules. They're weighing you down. They're weighing you down. Yeah, this feels like, this group feels like they're going through some heavy stuff right now. You are at a crossroads. You can lay these burdens down and realize that you've got the power to do that. These are your decisions. And it may feel like it's not a decision. It may feel like because you've had these burdens so long that you can't do anything about them. You just have to carry them and carry. You don't. You don't. Just lay them down and see how that feels. Okay. Oh. You know, these are two major arcana, by the way. The Tower card and the Hierophant. Yeah, and this is right side up. All right. So they're saying, of course, all these cards have many different meanings, but in this case, they're saying that you can be a teacher. You can be a teacher with what you've learned. So you can be a teacher with not seeking revenge, and you can be a teacher with telling other people in your situation, hey, you know, lay down your burdens, lay down what you feel like you have to do, have to be, have to, the rules that you have to follow. So you can be a teacher. You have been through many tough situations, and you can rise above it. And you can rise above it, and you can show other people. You can be an example. And that's always a very nice, that's something very nice to look forward to be able to be a teacher yourself and to look back on it someday and say, wow, I can't even believe all that happened to me. And realize, too, that in order to be an effective teacher and to be able to really lead by example, you had to have gone through these really tough times. You had to have. And you don't have to go through them again like this, because you're going to have a new understanding. It won't be as devastating for you. I'm not saying that you're not going to continue to be tested, because you will, but it's not going to be as devastating, because you will know. You will have this knowledge that you can pass on, and you can deal with other people being going through these issues, and you can be a mentor, and you can give them a soft place to rest. Maybe like you didn't have, but you can give that to them. Wow, that was a beautiful reading. That was really nice. Thank you for coming to me and listening to this. I appreciate that. And we're going to go on to group 2. Hi, group 2. You chose the Larimar stone that deals with water in the sea. And that's a very calming, soothing kind of stone. And once again, we're dealing with the throat chakra here. So let's get a clean page here. And let's begin. Well, that was a really beautiful scene. Like the last reading, I felt like I was a bird looking down, and I was just going along the skies, flying, and eventually there was a woman that was very carefully putting water in a urn or something, I don't know, something she could carry. She was doing it very slowly. She was enjoying the breeze on her face, you know, just feeling it. She was a poor woman from a village, but she didn't feel poor. She was a very serene, happy person, and she was very graceful. She walked. I felt like there was a lot of stone, a lot of hard clay that she was walking on. And she was climbing until I'm seeing it even now, until she got to the top of somewhere, and it felt like a stone thing that she was climbing. And she like walked into this cave kind of dwelling, and you know, it didn't show a particularly what we would consider a happy life, because she was sort of like a slave, you know, and she wasn't treated all that great, but she just had this kind of inner serenity, and I could feel it. It was just so beautiful, and people really didn't bother her too much because, you know, she didn't let anything bother her. There wouldn't be any point. And plus, you'd feel so bad if you did. Yeah, in fact, it showed her in one place, she was, at one point, she was sort of like in bed with this man who was, I mean, she was like a slave, you know, and he, you know, he just used her for sex. But she was quite an inspiration. It was, I just heard Miriam. Okay, so 5 piles. Okay. And there. Okay. First, I'm hearing, oh wow, look at this light. That's what she reminded. Look at the expression on this woman's face. It felt like she might not have light down here, but she sure had it up here, and nobody could stop her from feeling that. Stop her from feeling the wind on her face and the light coming to her. She was look at that. Look at the wonder in her face and the innocence and the happiness. It was beautiful. Just beautiful. Wow. That was that lady. That was Miriam. Wow. Very nice. Okay, so we're going to, yeah. 10 of Pentacles. And you see this older gentleman in this area here. Her knowledge of how to live and her happiness, you know, spreads to her family. She definitely feels very rich and very happy. You see these dogs here. They're calm. They're looking to her. You know, she's representative of this old man. They're looking to her for their instructions on what she wants done. Everything is calm and happy and serene. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Wow. Okay, so this is a 4 of Wands, but it was upside down. All right, so let's ask the pendulum something, actually. Archangel Raphael. Okay, does this, the fact that this card is upside down, does this indicate there was no marriage? Okay, and I'm being very careful about keeping my mind blank. Yeah, it almost felt like she was a priestess or something. But she was still a slave. And this just indicates there was no marriage at this time. She was concerned with helping out her people and living the best kind of life that she could. She became a leader of her people, which would indicate, yes, this right here. But she was not going forward within these wands to become officially married. Okay, so that's what that was. Another 4 card, but it's also upside down. 4 of Pentacles. In this case, okay, so does this card indicate that she was not looking for wealth? Is that correct? Okay, and they're indicating yes. Money is not something that she was looking for. This was not something that was a concern of hers at all. She didn't even think about that. I like to, if I get a couple of yeses in a row though, I always try and just see if the pendulum's okay. So I'll like ask a question that's obvious, like, I am wearing a blue shirt. And I'll just see what happens. And now it's going in the other direction. So we've got a no on that. Okay. So this is a woman who was not looking at anything money related. Okay. Knight of Wands. Okay. Raphael. This card mean that a man was waiting for her. Okay, that's a no. Major Raphael, does this card mean that she had news coming? Archangel Raphael, does this card mean that this was news coming in her older age? Yeah, you know what I'm seeing is this is a young man, and it feels like towards the end of her life, here he's coming in to give her something, to give her news, messages. She doesn't care about money, but it feels like the riches are coming anyway. Oh yeah, this sounds like a really beautiful woman. Oh yeah. And this, I feel like, is talking about her passing. Oh yeah. Yeah. And to take her to calmer waters. Wow. Oh, and I'm getting this energy on my head. You know, that's one thing I've had since I was a kid, is when I'm saying something that's honest or truthful, or if I'm even talking about the spirit realm, I get this on my head. Sometimes I'll even feel like somebody touching my head, you know, just touching it. And yeah, in this case, I think that's what they're saying, is that's correct. It feels like they're talking about her passing. This is a beautiful life that she led, and she was a real leader. And it feels like what they're saying is this group is a group of people who are going against the norm, and they can't do anything but that's who they are. They're very you are very spiritual people, and you're not concerned about money. You are not living in the necessarily what we would consider the best circumstances, but it doesn't matter. You are thankful for anything that you can that comes to you in this life. and you are a leader, and towards the latter part of your life, it feels like, the riches are coming, and it's not necessarily money, because you don't care about that. But it does feel like that's what's just going to happen. It's coming to you, whether it's suddenly being in the limelight, but it feels like when you're towards your older age, but it's coming, and that's probably partly why it is coming, because you're not offering any kind of resistance, because you're not looking for that. It's just going to show up, and then it talks about a very peaceful, beautiful passing. What a beautiful, beautiful reading. Very, very beautiful. Look at that. Wow. And this feeling with this ring too, this Larimar, if you were to look it up on the internet, Larimer, and mer is the C, I believe, in French. But this is all just calmness and beauty and serenity, and it all seems to go together, isn't it? It's really, really quite a cool reading. Anyway, thank you, my lovely gypsies, and I will see you the next time. Bye. Hi, gypsies. You chose the moonstone is in the middle, but the 4 stones on the outside are turquoise. And what's interesting about this ring is I happened to wear it when I was meeting with a monk a couple of years ago, and you know what he said to me through an interpreter, because he couldn't speak English, but he said that this ring was representative of the moon and of the sea. I thought that was really interesting. What a beautiful man he was. That was incredible. Anyway, let us start. Wow, that was interesting. Okay. I don't know if you're familiar with what a cameo looks like. What I saw was the representation of a woman's face, and then all of these jewels all around her. So it was a piece of jewelry, it looked like, and it felt bumpy like a piece of jewelry, and it had her face, like an ivory colored face, in profile. She wasn't looking front, she was looking profile, and then all around her was surrounded with bumps of jewels. And I saw it as a pin, somebody putting it on their lapel as a pin, and then I saw like a Medusa looking woman, also a representation of a real evil looking woman, with her hair of snakes and all. Oh, wow. And then I saw those 2 different things in a book that a mother and daughter were looking at. They both had very dark blackish hair, and they were looking at the book, and the child was snuggling up into the mother's, right here, and she was just, learning from her mother and from looking at this book. Wow. It felt like a loving kind of relationship. Well, this is good, isn't it? I mean, at least it's not those horrible ones that I've had in the past. But anyway, yeah, it felt like a nice kind of a start to this child's life. But it was sort of frightening for her to see this Medusa kind of woman, with the head of snakes and having this horrible look on her face of hate and anger. And I could feel the child was actually pretty shocked to see it. It was one of those defining moments in her life. And I wonder how many of you in group 3, if you can remember anything like this. Something that feels more like everybody would show their child, something like this, and adults wouldn't really think too much about it. I'm not saying that the mother shouldn't have shown the child this, but this was one of the defining moments, was to see that evilness of that Medusa woman. It just freaked this little girl out. So I'm hearing loss of innocence. It's the first time she's ever seen anything like that. And she's certainly, I guess maybe she hasn't seen anything like that on TV, but she saw it in a book. And it's, whether as an adult she realizes it or not, it will have a great impact on her life to see something that horrible, to see that kind of anger and hatred with this Medusa kind of woman. So I'm not sure if they're trying to say that this was a terrible thing or what. I'm not really sure. I'm hearing 6 piles. Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But boy, what a horrible looking... I mean, I've seen Medusa before, but boy, when I saw that, I was just like, that's pretty awful. All right, so I want to ask this question, though, to the pendulum. Let's just... okay, Archangel Raphael. Is this... was this Medusa that the little girl saw, was that intended to show a loss of innocence for the child? Yes. Yes, it is. Was this intended to show that the little girl was going to end up like Medusa? No. Okay. All right. So let's do the 6 piles. 5 and 6. All right. This is an upside down card. It's the 2 of Cups. And this is representative, not... in this case, this is the 2 parts of a person's self. Excuse me, let me drink some water here. This is the male and the female side. And, okay, you know what I'm hearing? Archangel Raphael, is this card talking about a split in the girl's personality? Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Archangel Raphael, does the split have to do with the Medusa in the book that the girl saw? Yeah. Yeah, that was a big thing. That was a real big thing. Group 3, did you have some kind of experience where you really feel like you had a loss of innocence that really affected your life? Especially, you're talking about a tender age. I'm hearing 3 years old. I doubt that you'd remember that, but anyway, this is a split. This is a split in the personality, the male and the female side, that this little girl experienced from seeing that kind of hatred. Wow. Okay. Queen of Cups, upside down. All right, let me ask one other question. Archangel Raphael, does this have to do with the little girl not ever being able to have that innocent happiness again because of that experience with that Medusa? Is that true? No, I have it wrong. All right. Okay. you to do. She must find her happiness. Is that true? Yeah, that's what I heard. She must find her happiness. Boy, it feels like that really threw her for a loop. Yeah, she was a happy, carefree little girl before that happened. Something happened? Something happened in your life? Maybe not necessarily in a book, but something pretty devastating had happened to you that you're having to overcome. Yeah. And it was quick and sliced you like a knife. Wow. Yeah. Do you see, I keep looking at the horse here. Do you see the horse? The horse seems to me anyway, to be looking back at the rider like saying like, are you sure this is what you want to do? He looks, the horse is doing what the guy is saying, you know, go forward fast. But the horse is like, oh, I don't know that we want to do this. He looks a little cautious and afraid. To me, he does. Anyway, all right. Careful what you wish for. 3 of Wands upside down. All right. To me, what I'm getting is in the past, these wands are nice and straight, going down a good path, and now you're looking at the future. It looks like this is a crossroads too for you. Something happened. Something happened to take away your innocence, and it's taken away your calmness, your serenity. Yeah. 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles. You know, to me, if you look at the guy's face, it's almost to me, it almost looks like he's looking at those pentacles, at that richness that's right in front of him, and he's not interested. It's almost like his life has been derailed and he's not able to feel the kind of happiness that he could be because of this experience. He doesn't even want to pick those pentacles. Yeah. Archangel Raphael, are we dealing with a bad situation that has affected this group's life? Something that happened that affected this group's life. Is that what we're dealing with here? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yeah, it sort of feels like the wind's been taken out of him. He can't even move forward. He's just sort of sitting there and just sort of doing nothing. Yeah. All right. Page of Wands. Same thing again. Isn't that interesting? Because he's also just sort of standing there looking at his energy. Not really, he's pausing. He's examining himself. All right. Raphael, or this group be here's somebody about, okay. I'm getting a definite yes on that. All right. So this feels like some advice that you're being given. And it feels like something happened to you when you're at a tender age, when you were very susceptible to something coming in that is not good for you. And it's taken your joy, your joie, what is it? Joie de vivre, joy of life. I can't pronounce French very well. But they're telling you, or the guides are saying to you, you need to self-examine, and they want you to go to some kind of a therapist and get this off your chest, to realize this, to know what happened, and to move forward. Feels like this has devastated your life, this situation. So, yeah, so they're saying they want you to examine the situation. They want you to go to seek a therapist, somebody that can help you, and get on with your life. All right. Wow, that was really interesting. I hope everything works really great for you. I will pray for you, Group 3. Thank you so much for having me do this reading. And I hope to see you soon. Please subscribe. Hit that little bell thing so that you know when I do my next group of readings. Have a great day, Group 3. Bye.